Cosplay, as from which you can probably tell by what I am wearing, is dressing up as a character from any series or video game or anime that you like. And the first character that I have ever cosplayed was this character called Poland from my favorite anime called Hetalia, which talks about history, portraying every nation as a person. I remade the costume and this is how it looks now. And to start, I would like to share with you my very first ever anime convention cosplay experience. That day, last summer, I woke up at 6, or should I say I got out of bed at 6, as I didn't sleep almost at all the previous night. Still having the butterflies in my stomach, I put on my costume, did my makeup, I put on my wig. While I was doing that, all of the fears came back to me. What if people don't accept me? What if my costume looks bad? In the car, I kept on changing the radio stations just to get my mind off of what was slowly taking me over, which was fear. And it was slowly eating me alive, to be honest. And we finally got there. The convention center maybe wasn't as big as the ones I used to see on TV or on YouTube, but it was still big for Polish criteria. So I got out of the car, I kissed my mom goodbye, and started walking very slowly towards the actual gate. And with every step, I was more and more sure that my cosplay looked terrible, that I wasn't the right body type for the character, and that my wig looked totally out of place because it wasn't the exact wig that the character had. And my thoughts were suddenly interrupted by my phone ringing. It scared me a lot and made me jump. People around me looked at me really weird when I jumped to hear my phone. I picked it up, and it was my mom. She told me to turn around and look at her because she was still there with her car parked in the parking lot. And she told me to walk straight with my head up high because I have been working for months and months to make this costume. And I have been really, really excited for this day. And today, that day is my day. And I cannot let anyone, and I repeat, anyone, ruin it for me by telling me that I look bad. So her phone call made me much, much more sure of what I was actually doing. So I started walking more confidently, and I got to the gate. And in front of me, a completely new world appeared. The colors, the costumes, they were like everything that I have ever dreamed about ever since I became an anime fan. The smell of freshly brewed tea mixed with the smell of manga. Many people were wearing costumes just like me, blasting anime music, running back and forth, buying merchandise. Others, they just met some new friends, and now they were sitting in the middle of the actual hall, fangirling about their favorite characters. Some were eating sushi, drinking bubble tea, or sitting in the middle of the floor, just as I said. All of this made such a nice atmosphere. It made me feel welcomed. No one looked at me weird, and if they looked at me, it was just because they wanted to appreciate my costume. So after getting used to the whole con experience, I finally decided that it was possible for me to eat something, as my hands weren't trembling that much anymore. So I sat down at the only empty table there, and after feeling a bit lonely because I was the only person there wasn't any groups of people around me, someone came up to me, actually 3 people came up to me, and they asked me if they could sit with me because that was the only free table. And I said, yeah, sure, go ahead, I have nothing else better to do, so why not, let's just talk. And after talking for a couple of minutes, we became really, really close friends. We realized that we shared the same passion for the same animes. We liked the same characters. So after a couple of minutes, they asked me if I wanted to come along with them. And I said, sure, not knowing what I was getting myself into. And since that day, I still keep in contact with them, even though I live abroad. I don't go to Warsaw that often. And that breakfast experience was probably what changed my whole perception of the anime convention. I realized that since I was in a costume, that I automatically put on the character, the personality of the very character that I was cosplaying. And that was what made people want to talk to me. I absolutely fell in love with cosplay because it is not about your skin color, your hair color, your body type, or your eye color. As for the last one, I thought it was. That's why for my first character, I chose a character with green eyes. But it is actually about the passion and the experience and the time and effort you are willing to put into every single cosplay that matters. Cosplay sparked a lot of my creativity. I only realized this when I was sewing pieces of material together for the first time to make 16 oversized bows for our group Sailor Moon costume. Or I was simply looking around my closet for something that Elf from Death Note would wear. I absolutely had the best experience, because in the end, it is not about how your costume looks in the eyes of others. It is how it looks in your eyes. And if you are proud of yourself, you deem the cosplay right. And this creativity that I just described also managed to bleed into my everyday schoolwork. I became much more open to suggestions. I started looking at different problems in school on a different way. I also signed up for a Maker Time class, which allowed me to make props, because in Maker Time, you are allowed to make whatever you want, any project, as long as you give a list of the materials that you want, how long you will make it in, and what the actual thing is. And here you have a picture of me making the cosplay props for our Sailor Moon group cosplay that you saw earlier. Cosplay is also it involves a lot of problem solving. Whether it is drawing out alternative ways that your character could dress, or was completely gender bending a character like I did here, the problem solving that I managed to gain during my cosplay experience also bled into my schoolwork. I realized that I have been taking on harder and harder challenges because I had much more ideas and much more will to actually try to take on these challenges in areas, especially in science and math, as they are not my strongest ones. When I go to cons, it makes me really happy to see people that run up to me, want to take pictures with me, hug me. Or I remember one time last year in Sofia, someone carried me through the convention center because I was just cosplaying their favorite character. So when you go to a con, you see people of many skill levels, from people who just wear a wig because they want to people who are masters at wig styling, prop making, sewing, all types of material, because they have been doing it for years. But the good thing is that no one, no matter what your skill level is, will ever judge you in front of others, because they know how much time you have put into every single piece of that cosplay. When I go to cons, I myself take a lot of pictures with cosplayers because it is my way of showing them that I appreciate what they do, that I appreciate every single character that they think of, that they can cosplay. And it also makes me happy when people want to take pictures with me. Now, you may ask yourself, why would you care? Why would you care about people who dress up as fictional characters just to walk around in a costume for a couple of hours? Why do they spend so much time, effort, and money into making a fictional character come to life? And everyone has a different answer for this. Some people just do it because they feel much more confident when people don't know who they are, actually. Others just want to bring their character to life and put a smile on someone's face and make their day just a little bit better. If someone still thinks that cosplay is a bad hobby, I can tell you so many reasons why it is not. Because in the end, when you think about it, it is not only the profit and the benefit that make a hobby worthwhile, but it is also the self-satisfaction and the passion that matters in the long run. And if I am proud to make cosplays of crazy characters just to walk around in it for a couple of hours, even though many people will not even recognize my character, and I am proud of what I do, I feel like this makes my hobby, which is cosplay, a hobby worthwhile. And I am proud of every single costume I have made. No matter how much time I have put in it, the easiest and the hardest costumes are always the ones that make me the most proud, because they show my journey from becoming a very, very shy, bad, skill-lacking cosplayer to the point where I am not scared of being a character, pretending to be that character, doing their movements, speaking as the character. And I feel like this just shows how much I have grown as a person and as a cosplayer. And this is why I cosplay. Thank you.